Okay, here's the last example for lesson three. It's a word problem, and you're going to be expected to read a word problem and draw a diagram from that word problem and then determine angles. So, like in this case, it's going to ask for the angle of depression to the boat from the top of the cliff. We'll get to that. Well, let's start with this. A boat is 130 meters from the base of a cliff that is 80 meters high. Okay, well, let's start by drawing out the cliff. I'm going to draw it in gray because maybe it's stone. So here's the cliff. It's all jagged and rugged. And this is the top of the cliff right here. And then we have a boat. So I'm assuming there's going to be some water here. And the boat, let's make it a wooden boat, is right here, a little sail. Maybe there's like a person in there. And they're like super happy because they're out on the ocean and they're having a beautiful, maybe it's a sunny day. Oh no, oh no, oh no, no, no. Oh, stop. Okay, my my computer just exploded. So uh, I've restarted a little bit. We've already drawn the diagram. Let's go from here. I was being an idiot and I was drawing, the sun, et cetera, et cetera. But let's just recap. I got a boat, base of the cliff, goes to right here. We've drawn the diagram. We know that the cliff itself is 80 meters high. That's what the question says. The cliff is 80 meters high. The boat is 130 meters from the base of the cliff. So we'll say from the middle of the boat to the base of the cliff, that's 130 meters. It wants us then, after we've drawn the diagram, to determine to the nearest degree the angle of depression to the boat from the top of the cliff. So from the top of the cliff to the boat right here, it wants the angle of depression. We need to think about what angle it's actually looking for. It's looking for the angle of depression. So that's from the horizontal down. Now, a lot of you will be tempted to say that this is the angle that we're looking for. If this is my line right here, you're going to say, that's the angle, Mr. Hunt, that I'm looking for. When in fact, it's not the angle we're looking for. We're looking for the angle of depression, which always goes from the horizontal line down. So if I'm starting at the top of the cliff, the horizontal line goes out like this, and then the angle goes down and it meets this line, our line of sight to the boat. So the angle I'm looking for is actually there. It's on the outside of this line. Now that's a concept that you have to get used to. So it says looking for the angle of depression, make sure that you go from the horizontal of the point you're looking at and then down. All right. So it's looking for that angle. Well, the question is, how do we find that angle? Let's draw like a real quick just version of the triangle that we've made here. This is my 90-degree angle. I know this is 80 meters. This is 130 meters. And the angle that I'm trying to find is actually this angle right here. Well, what I just showed you in the last question is if I have a horizontal line here, oh, my drawing is terrible, but if I have a horizontal line here and I have a horizontal line here, and I have kind of like a Z shape that is created in between them, this angle and this angle are exactly the same. They are the same angle. So if I can find the angle right here, this angle theta, then I will get my angle of depression. So let's use some trigonometry to do that. If I think of SOHCAHTOA, SOHCAHTOA tells me that if I have the opposite and the adjacent to the angle, I can use tan. So if I'm going from this angle here, the side across the triangle or the opposite side to that angle is 80 meters. I also have the adjacent side to that angle, which is 130 meters. So I'm going to use tan. So the tan of my angle will be the side opposite, so 80, divided by the side adjacent is 130. Now, if you remember how to do this, to find the actual angle theta, you take the second function tan, so tan -1 of 80 divided by 130. Remember, your calculator has to be in degree mode when you do this. I've had a couple people ask me how to get their calculator into degree mode, and if you're not sure, you can ask me and I will do it for you. So in your calculator, you go second function tan of 80 divided by 130, and you should get an answer of 31.6 and change. Let's say 60 and change. And so the question itself said, determine to the nearest degree. So our rounding has to be to the nearest degree, which would be this place value right here in the 1 in the 31. We're going to have to round it up. So we're going to have 32 degrees. Okay. So the angle of depression, back to the original diagram, was 32 degrees. I hope that makes sense. If you have questions for me, please let me know. All right. Bye-bye.